Now, before I get started on this late ass video, I just want to apologize because I've been so busy doing so many things, ordering so many stuff since we're still in the quarantine times. Yes, we are. I just want to say I'm very sorry deep in my heart somewhere that I didn't get to this video as soon as possible because I really do. Well, I enjoyed this game. This game was a lot of fun for me. So anyways, without any more interruptions, I want to get started on this because this was something that I was supposed to do when I made the Ghost of Tsushima boss fights and from the story mode and the ending as well. So I'm looking forward to it, and I do hope you all enjoy it and watch this video as I talk through some of my favorite moments about the characters, the gameplay, how I feel about it. But without further ado, let's just get into it. Now, this will be scripted because normally I would like to rush through the video, but this is actually something that I want to work hard on this time, knowing something that I don't really do on the channel. That's not really my job, you know, since this isn't really a job for me. It's just something I like to do for fun. Anyways, I don't intend to do reviews because I know a friend that already has that job. However, I've been enjoying Ghost of Tsushima lately, in fact since launch, and it was well worth the wait. If this video managed to get 5 likes, I'll be happy to do more in gaming and reviews in the future. I say 5 because I usually end up with like 2 likes, and those 2 people is usually me and someone else, probably my second account. But I do at least hope you like and enjoy this video, like I said before, as much as I enjoy making it. And quickly heads up, there will not be any spoilers until the end, so bear with me and I'll be on script as I mentioned. I don't want to waste any time depending on the full length of the review. Since this is my official first review on a game, I want to make something worth to understand, even if it doesn't get views, at least something I can look at and say I am glad the video came out the way I wanted to right from the start. Not just a maker, but as a content creator. And this is Sucker Punch's successful project, Ghost of Tsushima, released July 17th, the day after my birthday, so I'll consider it a gift. Let alone my opinions, Ghost of Tsushima was praised by many critics and fans, and it's definitely worth such high praise. One important thing about Ghost of Tsushima that I have to point out, and I'm sure everyone who has played it knows already, and that would be the atmosphere. I tend to say this a lot actually, but this time it's exceptional. Normally when I talk about this topic, From Software games are always getting mentioned. No surprise, since Miyazaki is my favorite writer and producer, those kinds always deliver some of the best pieces I've ever seen in video games. That's until Sucker Punch came through and proved me wrong. Knowing we're in a new era of gaming and game designs, including new gen consoles, the graphics will just get better and better, but Ghost of Tsushima is just the best shit I've ever seen. Words don't even begin to describe how I feel about this game, man, and that's just the atmosphere wise. Since I've expressed how I feel about the atmosphere, I want to get creative and deeper with this game as a whole. I mean, that's the point of this. I'm such an idiot sometimes. Now, this is when I started sharing my own opinions about Ghost of Tsushima. Between Nioh 2 and Ghost of Tsushima are my contenders of winning Game of the Year. Next to Doom Eternal, the new Paper Mario game, and of course Code Vein. Although it released on 2019 initially, I would argue that it is also a 2020 game considering the fact that it did not release everywhere until November. So that's that. Doesn't matter as long as I enjoy them all. Only a few characters I really want to talk about, much more, but I'll probably spoil it with excitement. Jin Sakai, the character you play as throughout the entire game, is also known as the Ghost, who gives his people hope no matter what the consequences are, and is quite an interesting character, much more lovable. I don't normally give a damn about who I play as in video games in general, as long as I'm enjoying myself. But Jin is a motivational character that you can't help but feel, in my honest opinion. Devastation, and with this whole idea of honor once you play, helps you have a much better understanding of the character. Probably more characters in general as you get through the gameplay. Now, Yuna. I can't say much about this character. Most of what I want to say will spoil the plot as her character becomes more involved after a certain event happens throughout the story pretty much. What I can say is her chemistry with Jin, what I call a very strong bond. I mean, she's the reason Jin survived in the beginning. Not really a spoiler since that's literally the beginning of the game, during the Mongols' attack. Despite that, I really like this character. A lot, actually. Raizu, my man! Once you get the plot, you'll understand what I mean when I say Raizu was a pain in the ass. As the story progresses, of course. Raizu is Jin's closest friend from, I believe, childhood, and it turns out he was an asshole. Pretty much. You face him twice, that's all I can say. I mean, the fight was tough. I mean, oh man. Not really sure how to feel about this character. Just an He's okay for the story, I guess. Just, I don't know. He's alright.
I was your spy, sent to gain the Khan's trust by spreading fear and chaos.
This character can be described to some you either hate or like. There is really no in between. Kind of the reason why the war started with Mongols. Lord Shimura is the uncle of Jin. I believe we're starting to see the pattern here. You save him from the Mongols, basically raised you, see you as his only son, even participates in the war with you to defeat Khan and the Mongols. I just fucking love this character. I'll get back to the topic later, just spoilers ahead. What I admire most in video games these days are the visuals. Ghost of Tsushima is not only visually but creatively impressive. Whenever I ride along with my horse, I just love to look at the sky, grass, and see how much game design has come this far. It's incredible. I love the new concept on how the wind is your direction, but that's the only downfall that I would have to nitpick. As cool as it seems, it's very difficult to tell where the wind takes you. I would always have to fast travel or look on the map to see where the hell I'm going. I know this is just nitpicking, but hey, every game isn't perfect. Obviously some flaws here and there. It's safe to say Ghost of Tsushima will go down as one of PlayStation's best exclusive in history, maybe. And I'm not saying that just because it's a really good game. It's not that at all. I say simply because it'll be remembered after the tragedy with The Last of Us Part 2. Not to mention it is PlayStation's last exclusive before the next gen consoles comes out. I like to point out my favorite thing in Ghost of Tsushima is its standoffs, easily. The best thing I've seen in quite a while is just so satisfying when you slash your opponents in slow-mo. It always gets me excited. Speaking about the combat in Ghost of Tsushima, I want to talk about my favorite parts of Ghost of Tsushima in general. I mean, it's obvious. The best parts about these games are the boss fights, especially when it comes to the difficulty. The fights aren't the hardest, but that isn't to say they're easy. These battles are strategy based, so if you're careless, you might end up dead. I struggle with the second fight against Raizu, however you pronounce the dude's name. The final battle with Lord Shimura as well. I also want to point out these arenas, like the boss areas in general you fight in, are amazing. I struggle with memorizing Rizu's moves because they seem quick when the attacks connect. It gets frustrating, but I like a challenge. I like the idea whether you block an enemy's attack perfectly, you're able to get a couple of hits in before the enemy regains conscience. There are two ways the enemy can approach you. Either it's a blockable attack when a blue light shines on the sound, or the red light when you'll have to be on guard at all times as it's unblockable. Some attacks can be quite difficult to dodge, but it's not like you aren't going to get hit at some point. My favorite boss fight, I would say, is the battle with Khan, the leader of the Mongols. It's one of gaming's satisfying moments when you encounter him the second time, and I say second because the first, he's just basically throws you off the bridge, pretty much why the people of Tsushima calls Jin the Ghost. So thanks to Khan, he has a name for himself. Anywho, the reason why I have this fight is simply because it stands out more. The reason why I love it in general. These kind of fights is usually a 1v1, and for the first part of the fight it remains like that until you enter an entire battlefield with not just you and the Mongols. So not only you're fighting Khan, but the Mongols at the same time. Tragedy. But the boss himself, one thing I don't like are the fucking arrow guys. Holy shit. Has limited amount of arrows for no reason, man. Being I'm not the best at multitasking usually, but this just outrageous. Like, are you kidding me? Seriously? Surprisingly, I didn't die at all. Like, this was all in one clip. But it's by far the most entertaining part of the game, and it keeps you on guard the whole time. I pretty much said what I have to say. The rest of the boss fights include the ones that don't have to do with the story are as good as always, no complaints there. For this, the part of the review, I will just be talking about my favorite parts, so this is a spoiler warning. There will be a time in the bottom to skip spoilers and get right into the overall review on Ghost of Tsushima. These spoilers will only talk about the ending part of the game because it's something I really want to discuss, as it stands out more for being such a memorable moment throughout the entire experience. It won't be too long, so I guess I should get to the point so that I can get over with, but I'm very excited to talk about this particular topic. Because by now you either skipped this or left. Either way, you make it this far into the review, you're loyal, and I appreciate that shit. Remember when I talked about character and how much I love Lord Shimura's character? The final battle is one of the best fights in the game, undoubtedly. Probably everyone's favorite fight in the game. The reason why you fight him is for honor. After dishonoring him, decisions during the battle with the Mongols by using poison to wipe them out, it turns out the Mongols used Jin's poison as well, so it backfired. Lord Shimura then proceeds to arrest Jin for the decision of saving his own people, rather honor his uncle's choice in the battle. Of course he escapes because the Ghost of Tsushima is not like he wants to, but it's Jin, you know. Jin made it far. He's willing to die for his people, betraying the man that raised him eventually. Shimura joins the battle with you, defeats the Mongols. After that, he leaves a message to meet him where it all started before the battle proceeds. We get a flashback of when Jin was young. Shimura asks if he was ready. We then flash forward to the present and proceeds to then I am ready, and oh my, I love everything about this fight. The soundtrack, a battle when no one is right or wrong, the arena, the motivation. In all honesty, this doesn't seem like a one-sided fight. Both these characters are not only determined, but as you pay close attention, neither of them wants to do this fight. Like, none of them wants to battle, where one believes in honor and the other believes they're a slave to it. As I mentioned about the soundtrack, Sacrifice of Tradition is my favorite soundtrack of the year. Like, seriously, if this game somehow doesn't win Game of the Year, I at least hope it wins Soundtrack of the Year after that extraordinary ending. When you defeat Lord Shimura, you then have the option to kill or to spare him, and I absolutely love that they included this. It was a brilliant idea of a choice the player gets to decide carefully whether you want to kill him or to honor his death, or spare him to let him live and walk away. It also means since you're known as the ghost, you'll be haunted for the rest of your journey. I choose to spare because I've been through a lot. I mean, I killed my best friend, my fucking horse died, and a friend got his head chopped off. Now you're saying I have to kill you for this honor crap? I have no honor, and I really didn't want to kill Shimura. Love this character too much for that matter. The ending, depending on your choice, I pick spare is when he puts on his ghost mask and walks away like a total badass. Like, excuse me, I want to be like you, man. But still, Sucker Punch nailed it with Ghost of Tsushima. The gameplay and the story takes you on a journey players will be relieved on not missing out as one of PlayStation's fine exclusive games to ever release. I give this game a 9.3 out of 10 simply because the extraordinary ending. As I did mention, I love this game. I love the soundtrack, everything about it, and the way how it came out to its finest work. It's definitely one of the best games I've played recently, and it's going to stay like that for a very long time, no doubt. I love this game, and I love everything about it. I love what Sucker Punch did, and I love what everyone in the studios, including the writers and producers, and how hard they worked and striving succeeded on that. But anyways, that is the overall review. What do you guys think of the review? Ghost of Tsushima, how the story progressed. Did you like the game? How do you feel about it? And how do you feel about the overall review? Let me know down in the comments below. And of course, I'll see ya. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? I really had fun making this. This was the best thing I've done in quite a while, knowing that I had enough time to do this. So I would really appreciate the support. This wasn't easy to do, obviously, since this was my first scripted review as well, not to mention that. So thank you for making it this far in the video, and I really do appreciate it. Peace.